Hello, welcome to the Weather Hazard Briefing presented by National Weather Service Pocatello for Thursday, October 31st, Halloween. Here's what you'll see in this presentation. We're looking for a light to moderate snow today into Friday. And in fact, there are winter weather advisories in effect, and that means for moderate snow. That would be in the portions of the Wood River Basin and then in our mountains along the Montana border north of Clark and Fremont counties. We have heavier snow amounts possible on Saturday midday through Sunday morning. Then it will turn colder after the weekend storm, but the rain and snow threat will continue at least through next Wednesday. So here's a satellite image showing the current storm that has moved in. You can see the back edge of the cloudiness right in here. This back edge will be slowly moving its way eastward, and by tomorrow afternoon or morning, it should be clearing the central portion of Idaho, and by Friday afternoon, it should be clearing into Montana. So it's kind of slow moving, but it's also not got a whole lot of moisture with it, but it will produce some snow. So here's the outlook. You can see it's very busy with rain and snow showers through widespread areas today, tomorrow at least, especially in the morning, just for central Idaho, the Lost River area, Wood River, Sawtooth, and Lemhi County. Then on Saturday, actually most people see a break in the morning, and then it really gets underway Saturday afternoon, especially in the east side. And then Sunday, it should all be during the morning hours and clearing out. And then on Monday, there's probably one of the lower chances of snow during the next week. There's just a slight chance of rain and snow, as you can see in the Snake River Plain, Magic Valley, and in the South Hills, and a chance of rain and snow in the Southeast Highlands and the Eastern Highlands, and very little chance in the Central Idaho Mountains. That's because the flow will be shifting from southwest, which would really enhance snow accumulation in the Central Idaho Mountains, to more westerly, and it will affect actually more of the western side of the Central Idaho Mountains rather than sort of this side of that clump of mountains in the middle of the state. So here's a 7-day temperature forecast. You can see just by tracing one of them, you can see temperatures really kind of peak on Friday and Saturday, and then after the second storm goes through, see the drop in temperatures, and we'll be struggling to get to the 40 degree mark even in places like Pocatello. Here's a precipitation. You can see there's wherever it's green, we're expecting mostly rain, and so you can see during the overnight hours tonight, after today's storm picking through, that we do get sort of dies down a little bit, and then Saturday it picks up again. Saturday afternoon, still kind of mild, and a lot of rain and much less snow. And then on Sunday changes over to snow, and things die down, and by Sunday evening you see back and into Monday we're back down to much lower chances. So for this first storm, here are the current expected total snowfall with our forecast ranges. You can see really only the high elevations of the Snake River Plain will get pretty much a dusting, and this is why the advisories are out for Clark and Fremont County, especially the northern end, as you can see, and over here in the Wood River Basin and into the Stanley Basin, especially at high elevations, again above 7,000 feet or so, is where it's going to accumulate rather heavily, where you see the yellow and orange shading. And this is a forecast of the rainfall that will occur during that same storm, or the rain equivalent. So this would be the liquid water. If you were to take the snow accumulations in places like Galena Summit and Ketchum, this is what you would get if you melted it all and then measured it. So you can see down here where in the Snake River Plain where it will be raining for the most part, We are looking at a tenth to a quarter of an inch in most locations. The further north you go, the better chance that a portion of that will be snow in places like Idaho Falls, Rexburg, and Mud Lake and Ashton. Here's the low end chance of snow for Thursday, Friday. You can see, there's still pretty solid chance of getting a dusting even in the Arco Desert, and up in places like Haley and Ketchum, still 2 inches at a minimum and 3 inches at Galena Summit. And if we look at the high-end snow predictions for this same storm, you can see Galena forecast high of 7 inches. So a lot of this heavy snow, or heavier snow, is definitely above even 8,000 feet for the significant snow. And same for over here in the Island Park area, over to Monida Pass. You can see there is a chance of some, this is basically 6 to 8 inches on I-15, and up going through Island Park area, more like 5 inches on the highway system there, US Route 20. Okay, and here's the probability of a tenth of an inch, which we would call a skiff of snow. See just 26% chance of getting that kind of snow here in Pocatello for this storm. So for the most part, Pocatello, Blackfoot, there's very little chance that this will inhibit Halloween activities this evening. But you see, as you get towards Idaho Falls, where it gets a little bit colder, there is more of a risk of some snow being on the ground by this evening. Of an inch or more, you can see pretty much it's limited to the Arco Desert area down in the lower elevations, and it's still easily solidly getting an inch, especially in those areas where the wind advisory or the snow advisory is in effect. 2 inches, you can see it's slowly shrinking in aerial coverage of where that's most likely. Same here for 4 inches. You can see now it's not so easily gotten in places like Haley and Ketchum, but Galena Summit, still very likely they will get 4 inches. Same in Island Park, 4 inches should be easily gotten because it looks pretty likely. Then the 6 inch threshold is where a lot of these break down. You can see not very many places now over the 50% risk of it happening. And same here for 8 inches, and here's a foot. Very few places, just extremely high elevation, and even then it's not much of a risk. For the second storm, this is the expected snowfall. You can see it does get down more into the Snake River Plain. Temperatures will be slightly colder, but still less than an inch for places like Pocatello and even Rockland and Burley. And this is the rain or rainfall or rain equivalent if you were to melt it all. Again, it's in terms of amounts, it's very similar to this storm, where it's a tenth to a quarter of an inch down the Snake River Plain, and a quarter inch to a half an inch in some of the higher elevations in the mountains. So that's all I have. If you have any further questions, you can always contact us at this telephone number in the bottom center, or check out the weather yourself at weather.gov/Pocatello. Thanks for watching.